Courtroom of the Supreme People's Court was packed to suffocation on the 22nd day since Meng Lung's tragic death. The entire nation seemed to be holding its breath as cameras flashed like lightning, journalists struggled to capture every detail, and the weight of silence pressed against the marble walls. Everyone knew this would be the final day, the final judgment, the last word in a case that had dragged countless dark truths into the light. At the front of the gallery sat Meng Lung's mother, gripping a photograph of her son so tightly that her hands shook. Her face was pale, her lips quivering, and her eyes burned with grief and fury as she stared at the row of defendants. When the judges entered, the chamber stood in unison. The presiding judge's face was carved in stone, his voice like iron as he began reading the verdicts. His words cut through the silence with a force that shook everyone present. The first name to fall was the most shocking of all. Liang Zhe-sun, a high-ranking leader who had long been shielded by power and privilege, was declared the mastermind. He was found guilty of premeditated murder, abuse of authority, obstruction of justice, and orchestrating the violent torture that led to Meng Lung's death. The judge's voice did not waver as he sentenced Liang Zhe-sun to death, execution immediate. The reaction was instantaneous. Gasps, cries, shouts of disbelief. Meng Lung's mother screamed, collapsing against the bench in front of her. Spectators wept openly while some shouted curses at the disgraced leader. Liang himself stood tall, his eyes blazing with fury as he growled, "History will remember me differently." His defiance was drowned by the roar of the crowd as officers restrained him. The courtroom had no time to recover before the next name was read. Chi. Once admired by millions, now she stood trembling, her face streaked with tears. The judge announced her crimes: direct participation in the brutal assault, repeated acts of cruelty, and assistance in covering up the killing. Her sentence, death with a 2-year reprieve. The moment those words echoed across the hall, Chi collapsed to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. "I didn't mean for him to die. I was forced. I was used," she wailed as she clawed at the air as guards dragged her upright. The audience responded with fury, their voices uniting into chants of "murderer" and "justice for Meng Lung." Her pleas meant nothing. Then came Gao Taiyu. His face was ghostly pale, his posture rigid as though carved from stone. The judge described his role in the violent assault and announced life